of course, Strictly now is just, you know, just one of the biggest things.
Yes, but my memory of Strictly the first few weeks were really bad because we had a studio here. I don't know whether it was TV1 at the time, but they had tables and chairs as though it was going to be a cabaret kind of thing. And we only had about 100 people. And then I kept saying to them before we even started, this is an audience show. People who want to be involved can get as many ranks seated, going up either side, almost like the Crucible in Sheffield. You know, people want to see what's going on. And I like an audience like this. Yeah. I don't know about like this, but I like to be able to see them and get to them and all that kind of thing. So it was very difficult, the first series, very, very hard.
But I just say that I did come dancing.
I did come dancing as well.
And after 7 years, such was my success, and public still thought it was being done by Peter West. And it's significant that when they started pickling come dancing, they got him.
Peter West was very good in it.
Was it daunting, Ronnie? You arrive here, you've got another big show, huge expectations for the show again, and you're wandering around and you're seeing all these amazing actors doing something amazing there, and huge stars in another studio, and Eric and Ernie down there. Is it just kind of, oh my God?
You know? Yes, well, Eric and Ernie, of course, were contemporaneous with Ron and I, sort of, really, because we were all rehearsing in the same, you know, and, but there was always a very nice relationship between us. But we were all in slightly different areas, really, you know, of work, you know. So it was always
completely different now, isn't it?
Completely different now.
In hostility.
Yeah.
We were all standing there before this show. Nobody had a word to say to each other at all.
No, the guests on House Party, any of them make you particularly nervous? Yes, the TV Centre has witnessed some of television's best conversations. Sporting greats, comedy legends, Hollywood royalty, and actual royalty have all made the trip to the Donut, sat in a comfy chair, and simply talked.
Have you got any ambitions, in fact, in other spheres completely? I mean, do you want to be Prime Minister? I mean, does that sort of thing?
No, I don't want to be, no, nothing like that, no. Retire, no,
retire. Well, when do you think you'll achieve that ambition?
Waiting to go in a couple of years.
Did you go to the movies a lot?
I went every Saturday to the matinees. I didn't like to eat at home, but we didn't have a particularly happy house. But to see King Arthur, there was a serial every Saturday. And to watch, I used to get a piece of chicken and, you know, and put it in a lunch bag. And every Saturday I'd go and I'd watch, and when they started eating their chicken, I used to sit there and eat that chicken. I mean, that's my best memory of childhood, is eating around the round table with King Arthur.
I was about 8 years old. I was in one of the downtown stores of Atlanta, and all of a sudden someone slapped me, and the only thing I heard was somebody saying, "You are that nigger that stepped on my foot." And it turned out to be a white lady.
Our motto is, by any means necessary. By whatever means is necessary to bring about complete respect and recognition of the 22 million black people in America as human beings. That's what we're for. That's what we're dedicated to.
By any means. By any means.
By any means.
I'm standing so proud. Now with the world of America. I took my gold medal, thought I'd invented something. I said, man, I know I'm going to get my people freezing there. I'm the champion of the whole world, Olympic champion. I know I can eat downtown now. And I went downtown that day, had my big old medal on, and went to breakfast. At that time, black things wasn't integrated. Black folks couldn't eat downtown. And I went downtown, I sat down, and I said, you know, a cup of coffee, hot dog. He said, the lady said, we don't serve Negroes. I was so mad. I said, I don't eat them either. Just give me a cup of hot.
To be the perfect chat show host, you need to be part drinking buddy, part priest, and part fearless inquisitor. Getting that balance right is something very few have pulled off, and I'm now joined by two of the greatest practitioners of the art, Terry Wogan and Michael Parkin.
And the only thing the talk show, chat show, or as they say in Holland, crack show hosts are ever remembered for is the farcical. Is the emu strangling him, taking him to the ground. It's Russell Harty being slapped by Grace Jones. And it's the two occasions with me where poor George Best was extremely drunk and, very hard to interview. And then Anne Bancroft.
That was your finest hour.
Wouldn't speak a word. Not a word. Came out in a catatonic trance. And I said, halfway through, in desperation, I said, "You're not enjoying this, are you?" And she said, "No."
Anyone to name their favourite BBC show, and it will probably be a comedy. Victoria Coren sets off on TV Centre's Comedy Heritage Trail.
Some of the greatest comedy moments in television's relatively short history have been recorded at TV Centre. Take this soon-to-be-defunct Studio 8, for example. Over the years, Fawlty Towers, Victoria Wood, Bunford in the Grave, Little Britain, Westminster, French and Saunders, Porridge.
I won't let you catch me, Mr. McCarthy.
Absolutely fabulous. Catherine Tate and many others have been recorded right here where I'm standing. But right here, I'm in a terrifying gallery down there where I daren't look. This studio has also been Pompeii, Peckham,
Oh, shut up, you tart.
and a pet shop. We're here in Studio 8. What do you remember about this place?
A lot. Just walking in here today, I haven't been in here for a while, just looking around the atmosphere. Not to exaggerate, it's a bit like the Palladium. This is Studio 8 at TV Centre. This is the biggie. Oh, yes, it's just great.
And what about a show like Morecambe and Wise?
Eric and Ernie wanted to recreate a theatrical atmosphere, even though they're on television. They had a stage. They were looking across straight at the audience. They weren't below them. They were looking straight at them like a theatre audience. I remember Tom Jones was a guest on one, singing Exactly Like You.
Exactly like you.
We were all having a drink afterwards, and I said to Eric, "Where's Tom gone?" And Eric said, "He's just left covered in managers." Never let you down. Hold to the line, Eric.
Why do you think so much great comedy was made here at a particular time? What was the reason that they all gathered?
Certainly in that era, the BBC was the accolade. The building imposed an atmosphere, the studio imposed an atmosphere. You came in here and you felt all right. You really felt that you'd made it if you were working here. The cachet of the BBC name was the thing that lured people.
With Kenny Everett, were you mostly writing the lines for him, or were you coming up with ideas?
It was me and Ray Cameron, father of Mike McIntyre, used to write the Kenny Everett shows. I saw this young actress once being interviewed, and there was something awfully gross about the film she was doing, a nude axe murder scene or something. And she seriously said to the interviewer, "It's all done in the best possible taste."
I hope you all go and see my new movie, Bloodbath of the Naked Vixens. It's all done in the best possible taste.
So that's where the best passable taste originated. And he was down to do a Parkinson show, Hello Michael, and he was coming on at the beginning of the show as Cupid. That was the name of his character.
She's got all the appeal of Jane Russell, the charm of Jane Mansfield.
Michael said to me, "I'd like to give her a proper introduction. What's her full name? Has she got one?" I said, "Cupid Stunt." And Michael said, "Thank you very much. I shall have to rehearse that."
Miss Cupid Stunt.
How do you feel about the building closing down? Do you think it matters?
Yeah. I'm not a very sentimental person, certainly not about buildings, but this place, no. In the best possible sense, there are ghosts in this studio. Amiable, funny ghosts. I can feel it in the air in here. It's just amazing. I'm sorry, I don't want to take the word.
Why? In the words of the Emperor Hadrian, let's expose some light-sensitive magnetic tape, and let's do it now.
You came here to give us some of your blood.
Well, you just did it. That's just a smear. It may be just a smear to you, mate, but it's life and death to some people.
You've got all like sand up your cracks in this area.
And my problem.
Don't even look at her. She was always doing that as a child. The ooh-ah bird is so called because it lays square eggs. I don't understand.
Just talking about us. I just caught the word arsehole think he's playing out. I'm only the, forgot what you call him. Prompter? Prompter, that's right.
My Aunt Dolly would have done it for nothing. She does anything for nothing, doesn't she? Yeah, filthy old cow. I didn't like to bother Mr. Kenneth. He was having his breakfast.
What was it, Muesli? God, it's Muesli. Does he talk? Does he talk?
Of course I can talk. I'm Minister for Overseas Development.
I mean, I've never seen one with a cleft chin and 2 warts under its nose.
You look at the wrong ends.
Well, I seem to have passed your gay test, so I must be gay. No, you are not the gay. I am the gay. You're probably just a little bit water. I'm gay. I've had sex with men and everything.
That's more than you've had, David.
All I'm saying is, it's a pleasure to have you here, and enjoyed the show. We obviously, when you talk about the final, keep it light.
So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Nicola Murray, Secretary of State for the Department of Social Affairs and Citizenship.
Hello, again. I got it right that time. Managed to come in at the right time.
Hello.
Good luck, everyone. There were, of course, lots and lots of recognisable faces there in those clips, but some less so. Anybody know who that old man was with the Hoover? David Jason, you think? Anybody got a guess who it was? David, do you know who it was? No. Sure?
Yes.
Being a part with Ronnie Barker many years ago. How old were you when you did that?
I would have been about 27.
Amazing.
Well, I spent my entire career actually in reverse because I was always playing the old farts, all the old men, and then I got younger and younger and younger. So it's not bad. I'm trying to keep going, in fact. So I shall end up as a child very soon.
Television Centre was really the birthplace of your national celebrity, and the fact that you are, a household name and recognised everywhere you go now. It all started here, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
And the man that wrote Only Fools and Horses, God rest his soul, John Sullivan, also worked here, didn't he, originally?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, John Sullivan, he worked as a scene shifter, from what I can gather, and during the course of his work, he worked with the 2 Ronnies, and he was desperate to get something written, so he wrote a few sketches which he handed, I think, to Ronnie B, who thought they were quite good, and they used them. And from that association, he then met, who was the great comic producer? He used to be lean against the bar all the time, not Paul Pruitt. Dennis Mayne Wilson. He met Dennis Mayne Wilson and gave him a script, and that was Citizen Smith. And then that was the story, but a strange story that just a chap from a working class secondary modern school with no big education, if you like, could create such wonderful comedy.
But starting here, working, moving scenery around,
yes,
turned out to be one of the greatest comedy writers for television that we've ever known, and that was a happy association. Penny, you had a long association with this place, but you don't come from the variety theatre. You come from the once nightly department of show business.
Yes.
So it wasn't all shiny floors and dancing for you. It was just a new play every week.
That's right. My first program here was Dixon of Dock Green, and some people have heard of it.
Favourite memories of the archives of this place in comedy?
Well, I suppose I used to, when I was writing, I would come here to write, which writers didn't really do, but I just felt it's such an inspiring place. I would often, if feeling sort of stressed or frustrated, I'd go to a viewing platform of Studio 8 and look down at the studio and go, that's what you're going to be able to perform on, that studio. And I'd remember the two Ronnies and Morecambe Wise and think, I can't believe 40 Towers to the Man of Bourne was there. And that would inspire me and keep me going. There's always a poster of Morecambe and Wise at that viewing platform just behind me as well. So, yeah, I used to sort of just pace the building a lot, and it just was truly inspiring.
Stores, TV Centre has reverberated to the sound of music. It didn't matter if it was jazz, classical, skiffle or pop. If you could pluck, twang, bash or honk it, you were in. Centre was, in one way, an industrial building, and yet it has a personality all of its own. The BBC's Alan Yentov pays homage to this very quirky icon.
This is it then, BBC Television Centre. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she beautiful? I think I'm entitled, me and many thousands like me, to wax a little sentimental as we take our leave of this historic monument, which began life over half a century ago as little more than a question mark. And here it is, the architect Graham Dorban's very first drawing of the building which would shape the future of television. It also happens to be one of the pleasantest factories imaginable to work in. And should the sunny disposition of the workforce begin to wane, there was always our good friend Helion, the sun god, presiding benignly over the dream factory, ensuring that we recharged our batteries in order to better fulfill Lord Reef's magisterial commandment to inform, educate, and entertain. The director of television at the time, one Gerald Beadle, no relation incidentally, could hardly contain his enthusiasm when he pronounced the building to be the largest, best equipped and most carefully planned factory of its kind in the world. A factory it may have been, but for much of the time it was a fun factory and a great environment in which to work for artists, audiences and for technicians. the cloth simply by raising or lowering the canvases which pass through a slot between the platform and the wall. The circular design is not quite as it first appears, and in practice the offshoot of corridors and peripheries can lead to a state of confusion and utter despair. And to top it all, it's got a staircase that literally doesn't go anywhere. Absolutely nowhere. It can, of course, be a maddeningly frustrating building. For instance, when the fountain was turned on the 29th of June 1960, staff who were working in the offices overlooking the fountain complained that the constant sound of running water was causing them to take endless toilet breaks throughout the day. But worst of all, it turned out that the fountain was leaking into this basement recording area. When umbrellas finally had to be brought out to shield the technical equipment, it was sensibly, but sadly, decided to turn the fountain off forever. Television Centre was designed to be perfect in almost every way, but like some of our programs, we didn't always get it right. But in its time, this building was the beating heart of the BBC. Times change. Of course they do. The BBC is now a leaner, fitter animal than it once was. But it's always sad when the Green Factory closes its doors.
Ground floor. But that doesn't mean my house will soon be turning red. Crying not for me, 'cause I'm never gonna stop the rain like I'm waiting, because I'm free.
That's it, we've come to the end. It really is time to say goodbye to the old place. I think the reason we feel so fondly about the Television Centre is because it feels as if we all own a piece of it. It's not a Hollywood dream factory. There's no magic about what happens here. It's craft, talent and creativity. It's people thrown together in one place to try to make the best television they can. That, of course, will continue wherever it happens to be. Maybe the architect Graham Dorbarn was right. It is dangerous to live too much in the past. But even he would have to admit that the legacy of his building is a golden age of television, and it really is a part of who we are. So thank you to all my guests tonight and to the thousands of people who passed through this place and left their mark on our collective memory. It's good night from them, it's good night from me, and it's good night from Britain's favourite postcode, London W12 8QT.
We will be millionaires. Something completed. Next is not better.
I think the burden part of the leaves is the pain that that's what you want, yes.
God put down their vessels and watch. I will believe the letters dropped into the west. I did not include that university road. Marriage was not suspended in a dressing room. I'm ready. Shoot you, some shoot you. Oh, I just didn't need it. We've got an old-fashioned matter today for you this week.